This is Katrin with Disability Rights New York. Welcome to our podcast, Empire State of Rights Closed Captioned. We are here to bring you information on the most relevant topics regarding disability rights and advocacy. Today, we welcome Richard, a previous client of DRNY, and he's joined by Virginia Anderson, a DRNY Intake Specialist. We're here to discuss Richard's DRNY story. Richard, Virginia, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, Katrin.
How are you?
Richard, let's get started with you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I have a very interesting experience because at the time I was born in 1932, things were not too good in the country. As a result, later on, it's a big story to get there. I went to 3 different high schools, played sports for 3 different high schools, then wound up going out to Los Angeles to play football for Loyola Los Angeles. And we had a problem. It was a racial problem because that's what we had in those days. And our team was supposed to go to the Cotton Bowl. We voted 100% not to play Texas and Texas University in Texas because they didn't want our 2 black players to play. As a result, the Jesuits couldn't take the heat, and that basically killed our scholarships because the Jesuits elected to play football only the following year and then dropped football. They have never come back to play football. The NAACP was furious because we were supposed to go to the Cotton Bowl. And so I got my high school coach. I went to the Merchant Marine Academy. I played football for them. And then we marched in a parade when the beginning of the Korean War, when MacArthur came home. And I decided I should be in combat. So I resigned my commission, joined the Army, got wounded in Korea, came home, and couldn't play anymore. So I then had to start basically all over again. I finished college at night. I had problems getting hired by the Big 8 accounting firm. And so that's pretty much where I'm at. Whenever there's the current instance, an officer of the Military Order of Purple Heart, and it was a program that was being offered by the state of New York for disabled Purple Heart veterans. Only 500 in the state, and they just upped that to 1,000. And they advertised that you'd be rapidly hired and treated like every other employee, except some people don't like veterans. They don't like disabled veterans. And as a result, when I got the COVID last year, went to the hospital, they cut me off the payroll. And as a result, I had problems money-wise. And I was saved. I was saved by your organization who were really great because I had great difficulty getting information.
Wow. You have had an amazing life. And so, Richard, I'm going to ask Virginia to give some information about your first contact with DRNY. Your whole life that you've given to us, your experiences are so not just interesting, but far-reaching. And certainly the trajectory of where you started and where you ended up meeting DRNY is such a full story. So let's talk to Virginia about the first contact you had with Richard.
So I met Richard when I accepted a call from the New York Department of Justice. They transferred him over. They gave a little brief info about Richard, stating that he was a veteran and he would need assistance with accessing his unemployment benefits because he was arrear in his rents and some of his bills. So I picked up the call. I talked to Richard. He explained about what was going on. And I said, you know what, why don't we just call unemployment right now on the phone while we're together? So I contacted unemployment with Richard on the line. We did a conference call. We found out that he had been receiving his payments, but they had just been transferred to a debit card. So I then assisted Richard with accessing the debit card, and we did a conference call with KeyBank to find out the balance and how he could transfer the funds to his checking account so he could pay his bills.
And Virginia, was this the issue with the unemployment? Was that directly related to COVID, or was this an issue that was outside of COVID?
The fact that Richard was placed on unemployment was a result of COVID, but I think not understanding how to access the benefits. I mean, I don't know, it was the card, so that could be something new that had come out of COVID. I had helped other people in my family with the similar problem, so I knew how to help him access the benefits.
And Richard, you said that you were having difficulty accessing information specifically about your unemployment and your experience with working with DRNY in Virginia. Will you talk to us a little bit about what that was like for you?
Well, when I went to work for the Department of Motor Vehicles, and all of the workers in the branch were fantastic. So instead of giving me equal benefits to the employees, which they were obligated to do by law, they treated me from the standpoint of being totally second rate and not eligible for any benefits. That, of course, it changed. When I went into the hospital with COVID, they cut me off the payroll. They didn't help whatsoever in applying for any kind of benefits. And a lot of effort by a lot of people in government that do like veterans, and especially disabled veterans. And as a result of that group and the governor, and thank the governor for doing it, they dug into everything that was really hurting me. And one day I got a big package in the mail covering all of the benefits that I should have gotten that never did. And giving me all of the back pay that they should have given me that never did. And that put me into a position to not lose my house and feed my family. But, I went back to work too early, and I wound up with a hernia in a place where I was wounded. And as a result, all of the doctors sort of panicked, and I get operated on that next month because a hernia popped out right through my skin, and it's just hanging there, waiting to be put back in. So next month I should be hopefully physically able to do anything. I've been through a lot of operations. I was wounded in every part of my body. I'm used to operations. I just have difficulty in having people treat me like a dog, worse than a dog. I just don't know how to handle some of those problems. It was easier in combat. So that's where I was. And with the help that I did from your organization and the governor, it was unbelievably nice that there are human beings in this world. So that's where I am right now. I can't work because of the hernia. I work from home, but I really can't travel. They had me driving at 9:30 at night, 2 nights in a row. It took me 3.5 hours to drive home, when it normally would only take me a half hour. But that's the way they treat disabled veterans. Certainly, I know that the governor is upset with that. And he made them give me a package of material showing what I'm really entitled to.
Well, Richard, you have certainly been through so much, and we're so happy to hear that you were able to get the information that you needed and had a feeling of being listened to by Virginia and DRNY. Certainly, all of that you have experienced is so very difficult, and being able to come on today and talk with us about this, we really appreciate being able to hear your story. It is so important to know about the struggles that you have had and how those can be addressed by Disability Rights New York, as well as some other resources that I know Virginia has. But I can't say enough how much we appreciate you talking to us, as well as your service, as well as you persevering through this time and allowing us to tell your story so that other people will be able to recognize the resources that are available to them. So thank you so very much for sharing the story with us. And Virginia, can you speak to the process? So if there are other members in our audience who are experiencing even a little bit of what Richard has gone through, what are the recommendations and resources that we can add to the description of the podcast for us?
Sure, not a problem. The process to get assistance from Disability Rights New York is pretty easy. You can either call our main number. You can go on the website, www.drny.org, and complete an online intake form, or you can send us an email at mail@drny.org. All of those resources were reviewed by one of our intake specialists and assessed for assistance. And if it's something we can take care of, like we did for Richard right then and there, we will. If not, we will create a service request and we'll have it reviewed by one of our attorneys to see what the next course of action will be.
Richard, Virginia, thank you so much for your time today. Again, Richard, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We appreciate you being so vocal about what has gone on and what we've been able to help you with. And certainly we look forward to talking to you both again. Empire State of Rights Closed Captioned has been brought to you by Disability Rights New York, your source for disability rights and advocacy. If you enjoyed our program, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this post. If there is a subject you would like us to discuss, please email podcast@drny.org or comment below. Tune in next Wednesday, where we'll bring you more information on disability rights in the state of New York. The closed captioned and ASL version of this podcast is available on our YouTube channel. To listen to more Empire State of Rights closed captioned, follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.